Hello everybody. How are we doing? You guys good? You guys groovy? It's a weird push notification. Good evening. Good evening, good evening. Good afternoon. Or good morning. Depends where you are in the world. Naturally. Oh! I haven't actually grabbed the model I'm supposed to be working on today, so give me 2 seconds. Oh. So we're going to be building this bad boy. Or at least we're going to be giving it the old college try. To do some of it. Most of it, hopefully. Hello, will you ever make a tutorial for Alfarius? Yes. We're waiting for it to come back in stock. The bottomless tank. Indeed, the bottomless tank. It is indeed the bottomless tank. I accidentally have 4 Rogal Dorns. Well, now you can have 4 Rogal Dorns. This will be my second. I have one in the video that I did, the green one. This one, however, will be in the brown. The brown of my Deathcore of Krieg. I forget how much of a monster this kit is. Oh. My goodness me. Ah. Hello, Travis. How you doing? Hello, Colonel. Hello, Marley. Sly Guy, Erlond, Dahi, Kevin, Least Friendly Swamp Dweller, Pridders, Tattooed Zoologist, Fake Street Spirit, Yamail Angmar, Philip G, Thomas, Blethin, No Skill Painter. I think I've got everybody there. Good afternoon. And guten Tag to you too, Jacob. I hope you guys are all having a good time. I did see, actually, Mark Watson has been a member for 42 months. 42 months. The rest of you, it's only ever a losing battle. Mark's my biggest fan. Thank you so much for 42 months of membership. And Jack for 39 months of membership. This is another one of my biggest fans. 1 more month till we get to the big 40. Hope you're doing well, Josh. What should be my next purchase for my Krieg infantry, or for my next purchase for my Krieg infantry, or a Malkador? Well, I mean, look, it's all going on pre-order on Saturday, right? So we've got the command squad's coming, the heavy weapon squad is coming, the artillery team, the engineers, the infantry. Apparently, I was a bit confused by that because I was like, well, you can already get the infantry, but like, I didn't really read the article. I just sort of looked at the pictures, which is foolish of me. So, Deathcore of Krieg. Deathcore troopers are equipped in the same way as their comrades, but back up. This makes them excellent troops for mass assaults and grueling attritional warfare, where the sheer weight of their firepower can drag down some of the mightiest foes in the galaxy. Star. So I don't know if it means that they're just releasing a Krieg infantry box that isn't the kill team, basically. And if they are doing that, and therefore it's a bit cheaper because it doesn't have the tokens and maybe the upgrade sprue as well, which you don't really need to build a unit of 10, that is another thing that is a possibility. But I would recommend getting a command squad ordered, because you'll need one for your infantry, because you don't have access to many other heroes for the Krieg. Fake Street Spirit has been a member for 12 months. 1 year. It's our 1 year anniversary. Hello. I have a headache from sushi I ate last night. Too much sodium. Trying to get it together to put my demons of Zinch. I need to do some more Zinch. Mark Watson and Jack, Mike Sell. Mikasel. I know we've been over it before, but I keep forgetting how to pronounce your surname. You guys are legends, says Colonel. They are. They are legends. But don't forget, you're also a legend. Anybody who watches my streams or my videos is a legend in my eyes. Even the ones who are cross. Oh. So, my friends and family, guess which two videos are doing better than the Eldar videos? It might be Drogs the Sunjumper and the Git Mob. It might be. Maybe. Who knows? Oh, it's fun. Deathcore Krieg. Oh no, Deathcore Krieg have blown them both out of the water. They did so well. That was a video that was just unbelievably. That was actually, that video kept pace with Fulgrim Transfigured. But that's an unrealistic standard. That's an incredible video for me, for my channel, for my watch rates. But yeah, currently Drogs the Sunchomper beating out Baharoth, Fugan, Iron Jaws, Craftworld, Ulthway, Lycus, and Assaman. Also, the Gitmob Army Set sprue review doing better than the Eldari range sprue review. So yeah, I'm really pleased. Also, you know, fine. Taking my son to the Space Marine VR thing in a couple of weeks' time. Think you did it? Any good? Oh, Mega Brune, it's really good fun. It is really good fun. I really enjoyed myself doing it. And I played a pre-release build. And I was told that the one... It was going to be... Because I played the pre-release build just before it went live. I was told that some of the sort of slight visual strangeness was all gone for the actual release build, so you'll probably have an even better time, because some of it was just a bit sometimes it was like, because you're holding your gun like this as a human, but you're VRing in a Space Marine's body. It meant that the Space Marines at times sometimes look like this. And it was like, this seems a bit strange. But that was fine. But that was just literally a visual quality on the VR, but they said they got rid of that. So you should have an even better time. It's really fun. It is really fun. It is really good stuff. Jacob, thank you very much for the $2. Eldar Meh, new gits, oh hell yeah. Community take? Well, what does the community think? What do you guys think? You're my instant replay feedback, because the comment section is mostly people just complaining about the full price that they've never bought anything at. It's a bit spicy. Like, I think it's absolutely a legitimate criticism to have of any product if you believe it's too expensive. I think that's absolutely fine. Genuinely, I would agree that Warhammer in general is too expensive. But that's why you buy it from independent retailers at 20% off. So, you know. I remember on the Deathcore Krieg Army set, there's somebody commented on it saying, I'm not paying £200 for that box. It was like, why would you? That seems like a strange thing to state, but okay, cool. Yeah, look, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? I think the value of Warhammer is in the beholder, because I think for some people it's, you know, fine, and for other people it's way too expensive, and that depends on, you know, where you're at. In terms of how you attribute the value to it. and that is within the eye of the beholder, as it were. But I think you can say Warhammer in general is probably at a point where it is now too expensive, and if they do another price rise, that will be somewhat of a slap in the face. And I completely agree. But at the same time, if you're a massive fan of Gloomspite kits and you want the new stuff and the shiny battle tome, you'll buy it from an independent retailer for 20% off. See what I mean? Why are Eldar even still a thing? Well, that is the question we all ask ourselves. A dying race. Just end already. Ah. There are no discounts where I live. It's either full price or nothing. And that's fair enough, Black Hole Eyes. Yeah, no, so there you go. That's a great example. So in that instance, you would have to, I guess, really like something to want to buy it. Or it's like crucial to your army, for example. Like if you're a massive Blood Angels fan and they release a new plastic Sanguinius, God forbid. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't need all of this stuff, but like I want that. So yeah, it's worth it in that respect, for that one model. Do you know what I mean? Would you ever consider other types of content, like sharing your process for finding recipes, bigger projects like a diorama or a competition entry? Kind of. I mean, the tricky thing is what I think generally what I try to do with my videos, it's really easy when it comes to a tutorial, is what you're wanting to do is the objective of the video is to do how to paint Drogs the Sun Chomper, right? And that's very easy to put that together. The question I find myself asking more and more when it comes to ideas that I have when it comes to making videos is what is the objective of the video? And I think you have to have an objective of the video for the video to make sense, for the video to be concise and tight and have a point. So it's not just kind of a meandering thing that sort of peters out. So the subject matter of how to come up with a paint recipe, it's quite a meandering thing. So it's like, well, how do you... But the answer invariably comes back to experience. And so if the objective is to answer the question, how does Josh come up with a paint recipe, and the asinine one-word answer is experience, then that means the video is 6 seconds long, and it's paint a lot of minis. Do you see what I mean? And it's like, what's the content there? It's essentially the question. And how is that useful to my audience who watch me for? I would suggest they watch me more for as a learning resource rather than a source of entertainment. Although entertainment does come into it, of course. That's what the live streams are about, kind of. And I would like to do different style of content. I would like to do more and more different styles of content all over the place. And that would be lovely. But does it come at the cost of doing something that is what my channel actually is known for? And it all takes a lot more work to do something like that. So when I'm really busy and I'm doing something like the Gitmob army set, it took me Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do the whole thing, start to finish, build, prime, paint. And I had to prime it in the midst of Storm Eowyn. So that was fun. So there you go. I feel bad for the launch box, but as someone who got the Krieg box, I get it. Sometimes you really just want those models. Now, that's an interesting take there, Sly Guy. So I want to ask a question of the chat. What to you is a good value army box? I'm interested to know. Like, how do you determine something is good value? What would be your criteria? What would be your most generalized criteria? Because I tried to explain a little bit in the video about how I didn't know what the battle profiles were. Edward, thank you very much for being a member for 18 months. Thanks for all your help. Who will be victorious? Only the faithful. Only the Warhipster. Over 100 models painted already. I think it's time to celebrate. Let's get him a Thunderhawk. I mean, if you want to do that, you can do that. If you would like to celebrate 100 models by getting a Thunderhawk, you can super chat, or you can send gifted memberships, or you can become members, or you can do any of that good stuff. It's all there. It's all here as a way to support the channel. But we've got a lot of stuff to get through. A lot of stuff to get through this year. We might hit something like 7 or 8 at this pace. At this pace, we would be. I finished 97, so I finished the Sunstealer Wheeler on 31st of January. So that was model number 97. So that would be 970 plus 180 plus 14, so 194. That's, yeah. That's how many models I would be on. The Cities of Sigmar was a great box. It was indeed. If one box allows you to play with that one box. Interesting. A mix of foot and horse and stuff I want. I go based off the look of the models mostly. I think they look cool enough to buy it, then it's valuable to me. Like Kill Teams and Spearhead. Yeah, makes sense. Dark Angels won, but in all seriousness, an entourage of basic units with support from something big. In the Krieg case, that was oops, all horses supported by a big gun and grenades. Personally, being as I paint more than I play with my minis, it's all about quantity to determine what a good value box set is. The more minis, the more value out of it. That's a really good point, Aiden. Best value box GW ever made was Age of Darkness, though, in my opinion. It was a very good one. I don't care about the rules. I like a box if it's for an army I'm interested in, and with minis I don't own. This is great. This is really great feedback, guys. This is really good. Osgiliath box set was good value. Yeah, Osgiliath's box set was very good value. Leviathan was pretty good. Thingy. The Skaven tie was pretty good as well. So here's where I think there's a tier list of value here, because I think the last thing you should do is place value on a army set based on points, right? Because I think if I was being really honest about the Gitmob army set, it falls just shy of being what you said there. You can play with that one box out of the box. If it had the Snarl Boss and thingy Snarlfang retainers, whatever they're called, Snarlfang retinue. If it had them in there, it has the spearhead plus drogs. Right? It doesn't have that in there. So you need that to get the spearhead. Right? So that's an interesting point. So you can't... But well, I don't know the points. So I don't know if you could play 1,000 point games with it. Because that is a level at which you can play Age of Sigmar. You can play 1,000 point games. Which reminds me, today, guys, I need to, just before 7 o'clock, I need to buy some tickets to an event at Warhammer World. Hello, Chris Bailey. How big the discount is compared to buying a new one. Ah, and there you go. So that is a question that can be answered at a later date. The Deathcore of Krieg one, right? Once we know what the prices of all those models are, which we will know on Saturday, that will determine how much of a cost saving it was. Which might retrospectively make it a better value box. Possibly. It might do. I don't like the use of the term army set. It is confusing. Yeah? Yeah, I can get that. I get that. Yeah. It is a slightly strange naming convention of theirs. Because it does imply that it's an army. But what would be the right word? Because you don't want to call it a launch set. That's not really in keeping with the lore. I think what they should do is they should name them, and then it just be called like brackets launch set or something like that. So if the Git Mob, it's called Git Mob Army Set, and they generally do have a name, but not always. So, like I said, it's called the Git Mob Army Set, but it should be called Drogs' something or other. I do believe, though, in the... what you do get out of it... I've got this. The contents of the army set is a... I think it's a Regiment of Renown. The Shine Stealers, yeah. So, you get... oh, no, it's not. Snarl Boss. You need the Snarl Boss to do anything. That's the problem. But it's 2 Sun Stealer Wheelers, 6 Snarl Pack Cavalry. But yeah, this is the question I have on at the moment, is how many points is this? Because I haven't seen any battle profiles. I don't know if... I just don't know how much of an army it is. Assuming $60 for riders, $40 for the hero, the grenadiers and the artillery, and $65 for the book, I'm going to say it's roughly $100 saving for the Deathcore of Krieg box. Yeah? Yeah, maybe. It depends on faction for Militarum. I'd want some vehicles, not just infantry and horses. For Tau, a suit or aircraft. For Eldar, less volume, more characters, like faction. I see what you're saying. But bear in mind, the army sets are used to launch the new miniatures. Generally is what they use to launch the new miniatures. So, what in the Astra Militarum's case, they would have had to launch new vehicles. Because they're not going to jam an old Lehman Russ in there with an upgrade kit, for example. Is one thing I would say. That's also not counting the data cards. Yeah, data cards are a great addition if the box stays, if the rules stay unchanged. which invariably they won't, because 10th edition has been the edition of rewrites. Like significant rewrites as well. They've done this since 9th edition really, but there's been a lot of rewrites in 9th edition and so on and so forth. But it was the core rules that got changed a lot in 8th. So think stuff like how detachments worked and the fly keyword and all this kind of thing is what got changed a lot in 8th edition. Factions didn't really get hit too hard most of the time. Some things changed naturally, but in this one, you know, there's been things like AdMech is a completely you can't really keep selling the AdMech codex really, because the army's completely different at this point, based on all the FAQ changes and things like that. So those cards would be a waste of time, and I'm very glad I didn't buy index cards. I bought a couple foolishly. I was very glad that I didn't buy a bunch of index cards. If I had been able to predict that there would be so many changes. I'm sorry, maybe the question was already asked, but is there a theme for the February month challenge? Oh no, not yet, Kevin. I'll figure that out today. I need to talk to the guys about making sure that they're available on Sunday. I'll get the poll up in Discord either tonight or tomorrow for the next theme. Tattoo Zoologist, thank you for gifting a Warhipster membership, you absolute legend. That is our first gifted of the day. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah. It's one of the eternal struggles I have with doing the sprue reviews. In that it is hard to review it is hard to review these things. I mean, what I'm coming at it from is looking at what the quality of the sprue is, how easy it is to put together, and based on that would, for me, that would be a determination that I would make on whether or not I buy something. So if no matter how like I would come at it from that point of view, because I'm going to enjoy painting it, assuming if it's something that I like the look of. So if, for example, like the let's say the Grey Knights, if they get a full rework completely from the ground up, 16, that goes there. So if Grey Knights get a complete rework from the ground up, the sprue review for me would be a case of, well, is it something that I would enjoy putting together? Because I love Grey Knights, but if I really hate putting them together, I'd be like, yeah, cool, I'm not going to do it. Is where my kind of focus is. Which is why it focuses so heavily. That's why those videos focus so heavily on the build aspect, because it's the, well, I'm a hobby channel first and foremost, so for me it's not really about rules or anything like that. Obviously rules are nice. But, you know, is what it is. Edward, thank you very much for one gifted Warhipster membership. That's very, very kind of you. He's our second gifted of the day. That'll put us on a nice even 390. The bounce from New Year's Day is over. So glad that the pre-order is for something I don't want, so my wallet can rest. There you go. I mean, that's the other side of it, right? Is, you know, you are under... Nobody is under any obligation whatsoever to buy anything. If you don't want it, you're not... There's no one standing there saying you have to buy it. I think though, like the Git Mob army set, like I said in the video, I was like, this is a really cool box, and I love this box, and I think it's awesome. And I also understand people who don't think it's good, and I also understand people who couldn't care less, because it is a slightly weird one. Because it's, you know, there's 9 models in there. There's a really cool book, War Scroll cards, and this, that, and the other. It's a really nice book. It's like a beautiful book. But it's not for everyone. If you don't care about Gloomspite Pipe kits, don't buy it. I think there would be more of a feels bad if the if Warcom previewed a lot more about rules. Is my my kind of take on it. If Games Workshop themselves previewed most of the book in its entirety, people would make decisions based on whether or not it's competitive, essentially. And I think what you'd have is you'd have a lot of complaining about price based on competitive, which is not how it should be at all. It's a miniatures company, first and foremost. How long did RK on the Man take you? Not the Dorgar half. The RK on the Man. The RK on the Man. Oh, let's see. How long did he take me? Oh, I don't know if I have the footage anymore. That's the thing. He would have taken me... I recall doing Archaon pretty quickly. Because Archaon, the Man on top, he's black, gold, red, and a fiery sword. So there's not actually that much to him. So I reckon he would have taken me 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. I think. How did Asserman and Fugan do? Better than Spider-Boy. The Asserman video. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Asserman video. This is awful. Awful. Put it this way. After 22 hours and 8 minutes, my last 9 videos have all had over 2,000 plays. Asserman is still down there with 1.5. It's not doing very well at all. Fugan did do slightly better than Lycus. Fugan and Baharoth were about the same. Lycus was third. Asserman, worst. I like the Asserman video. Nice blues and reds. Thank you, Dahi. I was really proud of the blue I came up with for it. I thought it looked really pretty. Doop-de-doop. Wait, you're saying we don't have to buy all the plastic toys? That is correct, Demogorgon. I know, shocking revelation, right? Just lift the NDA a week earlier than pre-order and allow the preview creators to talk about it. See, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea, and I'll tell you why. Because it would give pre-order creators a lot of power over buying decisions. And given as most of the big ones focus on essentially match play 40k, I think there's too much of a risk there that they go, absolutely don't buy it. You don't want 250,000 people to get the message that don't buy this because it's not competitive. I liked all the Phoenix Lord spears. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. I worked really hard on those videos. I fought through it. You know, we talked before they came out about how, you know, sometimes my negativity on something can sometimes get some people down, and I'd like to think that that's very rare. But in the case of the Eldar, I still am a little bit down on them. But I promised to do them, and I did do them. So whilst I was painting them, I was like, these videos aren't going to do well at all, and they didn't. But I do it nonetheless because I love you guys, and I want you guys to have the videos that you want as and when I can get them done. I try my best, you know. I try my hardest. Hello, Lone Monkey Productions. I don't think focusing on what's competitive or not is very fun, but I get wanting to have fun with the models you have. It honestly seems like a losing battle. Oh, it is. It's a really tough thing. It's like, how do you... I think because if you have a lot of questions about something before it comes out, when it comes to Warhammer, I think in that situation you're looking for an excuse to buy it. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are like a massive fan of, let's just say, Astra Militarum, and will be like, oh, new guard models, yeah, cool, and they'll just buy them. They'll go away. And that's like the silent, I'd say silent majority. They're not looking on YouTube. They're not engaging in the Warhammer community. They're people who are just really like Astra Militarum, so they buy anything that comes out to do with them, and that's them. And it sounds like, oh no, there can't be that many of those people out there. It's like, but there are, because you know, as far as I know, as of last year, I couldn't find any only Warhammer content creators who had over 1 million subscribers, but Games Workshop is reporting millions of sales, so there are millions of people out there, and you know, loads of people. Obviously, 5 million people bought Space Marine 2, and this, that, and the other, and things like the Secret Level episode has done really well. So there's all those people out there who love it, don't do anything about it online because they just don't. It's their private hobby or whatever, and so when something cool comes out for a faction that they love or something that they're into, they just buy it and they just go back off into the sunset. That's it. That's the end of the story. Where all of the conversation happens is of all the people who are looking for the answers to the questions to justify the purchase, I think. And that's because there's a different reason for doing it overall, which is fine. Hello, Sir Strumming Fish. hobby windows. When I worked for GW, we talked about it a lot. Yeah, I mean, I had people who in the shop that I worked in who I had never seen before, but when a release happened, they came in and just went, "Yeah, I'd like 3 of them." And I'm like, okay, cool. And there's people I would have that would come in every week and buy everything and complain about everything. And there's people who didn't do that. You know what I mean? You'd be like, so when it was somebody that you'd never seen before, you would be like, oh, hello, nice to see you. Because I worked at the Banbury Games Workshops. It's a small one, so not a huge amount of variety in the customer base, as you can probably imagine. It's a small town games workshop, so you kind of generally get to know everyone that's going to go in. And as a consequence of that, I would be like, oh, I've never seen you before. And I'd be like, are you getting into Warhammer first time? It's like, no, I've been doing this for 30 years. I wanted to get my hands on those new Space Marines. It's like, oh, okay, cool. There they all are. Great, I'll take one of everything. And then never see them again. It's like, cool. Thanks for putting the money in my till. Love it. I think it's great there's just tons of people in the hobby who just vibe with the models they want. Oh, it's my favourite thing, Sly Guy. I mean, ideally those people would subscribe to the channel. But I love that they're out there just loving Blood Angels. Or Orcs. Or something like that, you know? Tiger Bear Wolf. Hi, sorry I'm late. Been a busy day. Oh, it's okay. You don't. I don't expect everyone to be on time. You're all wizards. You arrive precisely when you mean to. It's lovely to have you. Everyone's hobby window is what they think the entire hobby, not realizing there are 10 people behind who have never heard of Warhammer community. There you go, and that's exactly the thing. So, I mean, you see it less now online, but like, I love it when I see somebody post, "Have you seen the new leaks?" And you go, "No," and they share a picture from Warhammer community, and you go, "That's come from Warhammer community. From where?" They have a website where they preview stuff. I didn't know that. Yeah, there it is. Oh, wow. There's loads of stuff here. Yeah. It's not a leak. But you do get blinded to what you think. You think what you're doing is the thing that everyone's doing, especially if you make friends in that same kind of that same area, right? So it can feel like if you're on the tournament circuit, because a lot of your friends are doing tournaments, it feels like everybody's doing competitive play. So then you're like, well, nobody collects these things, and that's where I find like sometimes you get some really joyous interactions. I think sometimes with that when you turn up to an event with something that somebody's never seen before, they're like, "Oh, I've never seen. Why is what? I was expecting everything to be all Eldar." It's like, yeah, no. Oh, it's really cool. You never see these. It's like, these are massive. Loads of people love these. These were everywhere back in my day. That's why I had so much fun doing 8th edition demons in 9th. Evening all. I'm starting to get really caught up in 40k lore and aesthetic. I'm an MESBG player. Been thinking about salamanders, but collecting 2,000 points of it just seems wild to start playing. Any advice? Play Kill Team. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad piece of advice. I just take it steady, take it slow. If you're an MESBG player and you really enjoy playing MESBG, don't buy 2,000 points of Warhammer 40k all at once. Just take it a bit at a time. You might not even like the building or painting of the miniatures. Because I think from making the transition from MESBG, from general MESBG, right? Not discounting the new miniatures that just came out in the Edoras box. But if you've done MESBG for years, you're now actually going to have to build your models. When it comes to 40k, it's not like the majority of MESBG models, characters notwithstanding, that you buy a box of Galadrim warriors and they're just there all on sprue and you're just like attaching shields and stuff or attaching the odd bow here and there. So that in and of itself can become a bit of a shock, I think, and that is something that I really appreciate about MESBG models. Is the older ones like the Men of Minas Tirith and things. There's a couple of spears that you add, and that's it. And I'm like, oh, so quick, so easy. But that can be a bit of a surprise. There is absolutely no need to just like ramp all the way up to 2K. You have things like combat patrol, but you can do 500-point games. You can do 250-point games. You can even play kill team. You can just ask a friend if they want to try using my intercessor squad versus your insert something that's of equivalent power, that kind of thing. Just take it steady, take it slow, enjoy it, you know? And you'll have fun, I hope. Speaking of that, will you paint the new Gits band with the 2 Gits and a squig skin? I need to buy one. But I'd like to. Legends is my favourite conversation. Are you attending GW tournaments? No. Then use Legends. That's a foreign concept to some people. That's called common sense. And not everybody is born with it. And not everybody chooses to develop it. Not vibing with an edition? Play an old one. There is a market for everything, essentially. There will be a bunch of people out there still playing first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth. They're out there. Just gotta find them. What am I looking for? Component 47 and 67 by the looks of things. Yes. 47. No, that's 67. Hi, Mr. Josh. Sorry, was building. That's okay. As I said, there's no... There is no obligation to watch my streams. There is an obligation, though, once you're here to like the stream. Because we want to get to 50 likes, you know. Unless you don't like the stream. In which case, tell me why you don't like the stream. Because I can improve for the future. I started listening to Plague Garden recently to take a break from Horus Heresy, and I'm absolutely loving it. Taunus is so good that I went and bought him, so I'll be using your tutorial soon, Josh. Well, there you go, Aiden. Plague Garden. Top 5 book ever written by Games Workshop. What's everyone working on tonight? I am building a Rogal Dorn and also talking to all of you. I'm not doing it on camera because my overhead camera has been a bit funny today. It is on. I've done this much. There you go. I've done that much. So we're slowly getting there. But you've seen me build a Rogal Dorn before. In the sprue review. I'm having a problem with Carabao Crimson. It's drying really shiny. Can I just matte it down after, or will that affect the recesses? No, you can matte it down afterwards, Nibella. It won't affect the recesses if it's coming out really shiny. I'd recommend giving it just like a really, really thorough shake. It might be if it's coming out really, really glossy, that the paint's just kind of separated or done something slightly weird. It just needs a really, really, really vigorous shaking. That might help you. When GW put MESBG models into Legacy, everyone shrugged and said, GW doesn't run any tournaments, who cares? Yeah. Yeah. I imagine the Horus Heresy community would have the exact same response. And I know that the Old World community has had the same response as well. The Old World, there are 9 factions in Old World, and everything else is technically an army of legend or a faction of something or other. They're not technically legal from a competitive standpoint, and yet every tournament I've seen or every tournament I've heard of someone has gone to, there's a bunch of people running vampire accounts. So it's fine. Of course, the slight problem is that some of the Old World factions are a little bit future-proofed, shall we say, for friendly games of Warhammer, and consequently have slapped a lot of people in Old World. But it is what it is. I also did some counting, by the way, chat. I think, based on everything I have to do over the next couple of weeks, you will be getting daily content until mid-March, basically. There's a lot of content coming. So, if you're a fan of daily content, whether it's live streams or painting videos, then please do hit the subscribe button. But also, tell your friends. Say, that guy Josh, he puts out content every single day. What an absolute legend. One thing I need to do after the stream today, and I will try my hardest not to forget, is I need to put a couple of models into Forge World, into Forge World models into the soapy bath. But you guys will be pleased if No Name is here. I'm not sure if No Name is here, but Mirkwood Elves came back in stock, so I immediately ordered them. So they'll be on the way. And I also ordered something that was asked for a long time ago, which I've always missed the boat on. I ordered Glorfindel. And then I shall try and recover the Elrond footage. See what I can do about it. Because Elrond, I was filming as a bit of an experiment on my old iPhone. The old iPhone suddenly allowed you to shoot in lossless formats, basically, in ProRes. And I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a go. And I was trying, but I shot it in ProRes 30. So I need to just either finish it in ProRes 30 or just accept that there will be a slightly weird frame change about halfway through and then finish the video. A second Bard's family. No. I will get to Bard's family eventually. It's just I had to paint 4 Phoenix Lords, guys. Can I have a little time off from painting models I don't like? Will you do Ungrim Iron first when you cover the rest of the War of the Rohirrim minis? I will try. It depends on time. If I can get them done pretty quickly, depends on how many days I have. I've marked out my to-do list until like March. I was very conservative with the time. I was like, nah. Let's see, like, because I don't know how long that's going to take, and I don't know whether that build's going to be horrible, and I don't know whether this is going to work, or if anyone's going to like that, or what the edit on that will be, or what potential days away from the desk I'll have and all this kind of thing. But I have booked out my time, basically. And it will, I think, once I've ended everything that I've currently got on that to-do list, it will be over, it was something like 65 days of daily content, starting from the 9th of January. So, you know, you guys are already planned out for March. For February. March is slightly different. What is that? That's 28. So this is a 17, I guess. "65 days of Warhipster." Yeah, there might be. I might make a video for day 66. It's just like, I've been doing content every day for 65 days. Please tell me I did good. I need your validation. Please. Please love me. Kassakin this week or next week? Yeah, so my plan is to hopefully paint Kassakin today. When might we see the Baneblade vid? Baneblade vid might be happening this week as well. I need to get this thing built because I figured what I would do for the Baneblade vid is turn it into a Baneblade and Rogal Dorn vid. And this way I can film the priming process on this tank because I didn't on the Baneblade. So that way it will make the Baneblade video make more sense. Do you see what I mean? I just want to make that feel a little bit more, because like I want the video to make sense, basically. What time are we on? 6:30. Cool. We've got about 20 minutes before I need to make sure that I've bought some tickets. Boom, 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 boom. For anyone wondering, I want to go to. It's the one day they talked about it in Warcom last week. There's a 1-day Age of Sigmar event that I want to go to at Warhammer World. 1,000 points. If anyone's interested, wants to come along, say hi, hang out. Tao Melissa, hello. I'm more into hobby than play. When you prime with white, do you use rattle can or airbrush? I use a rattle can, Tao Melissa. Yeah, I use GW spray cans. I have used some of the Colourforge ones. I like them. I've used them on the tanks actually, and various bits of terrain and things. But yeah, I use Greyseer, Wraithbone, or White Scar from Games Workshop generally. When is the event at GW? It is a midweek 1-day. It's on the 21st of May, I think. I don't know why I'm telling you all, because if everyone here gets there before I do and buys tickets, I'll be really sad. But I wanted to go. I might buy a ticket for Throne of Skulls as well. I haven't decided. I will decide in the next few minutes. What brand and colour? I use Corax White, but it always seems sandy. Yeah, Corax White is the older white primer. It's not great. I would recommend White Scar from Citadel if you're going to use a white. Otherwise, Colourforge do a good white, I believe. I think Vallejo do a nice one as well. But Corax White, I would suggest, is not an ideal primer. Just because it's White Scar was a reformulated one, basically. It is better. It's got much better coverage from Citadel. It's the white primer I would recommend for what I do. But only because I haven't tested every white primer in the world. I did test the Army Painter matte white ages ago. I think they've reformulated it since, but it used to be really tacky, really sticky. I didn't like it. Like, it felt sticky to touch when you held the model. And I've experienced that with a couple of Army Painter primers. Which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but I felt like painting over it with my brushes, it was like yanking on my bristles a little bit. That was my experience, at least, anyway. The old Army Painter black primer was so unbelievably tacky to touch. Yeah, see, I never used it. I always used Chaos Black. Generally was what I used. Okay. Oh, it's because it doesn't go there. It goes there. I got Wraithbone. It's ivory white. Yeah, Wraithbone's a lovely primer. It's a warm bone, basically. It's how you get your warmer contrast colours. Greyseer is how you get cold. I prefer Greyseer, personally. Greyseer, I think, is just a magical primer. It's a lovely tone. Works really well with contrast paint. That's obviously what it was designed for. But it gives everything that sort of darker, cooler quality that I like. Which is why I generally veer towards it over anything else. Is the Rogal Dorn Commander a build option of the regular Rogal Dorn or something else? Yeah, no, you just nominate it. You either paint it slightly differently or stick a man on top. Because there's all the crew and stuff for the Rogal Dorn. But I believe I can't remember. I think the Astra Militarum. I think the Cadian upgrades kit that had a commander in it, didn't it? That you could stick in a tank. I can't remember. Yeah, it has a man to go in the hatch. There you go. Is Wraithbone made for contrast? It is, as is White Scar. White Scar was designed to be used with contrast as well. All of them were. Greyseer, Wraithbone, and White Scar are all formulated to enhance your contrast works, basically. Which is why some primers from different companies occasionally have a slightly satin... Like, you know, Chaos Black? When you spray it, it has a slightly satiny finish to it. When you have that going on, what happens is it gives it that slightly... It doesn't have enough... I think the right word is surface tension for the contrast paint, which is why it just kind of beads up and rolls off. Whereas Greyseer, Wraithbone, White Scar, they're a little bit more coarse, which is why it grips the contrast so well. It's how they were designed. We need 9, 9, 9, and 29. 29? Little New Girl reference. I'll be very pleased if we manage to get both of these tracks fully completed. How cold can it be for you to be able to prime? Is 3-4 minus Celsius too cold? How about air humidity? I don't know the answers to those questions, Thomas. I wouldn't be able to give you an accurate reading. An accurate answer. Colourforge matte black is very matte. Use that for my towel. Yeah. Outside temp is less important than the temp of the can first. Yeah, 100%. It's why if it's really cold, run your can under some warm water. Let the can heat up in water. Don't use a naked flame, for goodness sake. Don't do that. But just warm the can up in hot water. Don't submerge the nozzle. And you should be able to prime no problem. Not for very long, because obviously once the can then starts to go outside, it will cool down. And it will consequently also start cooling the paint down. So eventually the paint will freeze. But if you use a little bit of... just warm it in a basin of warm water or under a hot tap until once if you shake it and it feels warm in your hand, it's warm enough at that point. I need 29. Where do I need 29? $29. Is that 29? Yes, that is 29. I was looking in every space that wasn't the one I needed. So why is there a spare 37? That's my question. Oh no, there isn't a spare 37. That's the answer. Time me on. 22. How much dirty paint water do you think you've consumed in a lifetime of sucking your paintbrush to a point, and do you think it improves beard growth? I would guess we're at least over 2 to 3 litres. Would be my assumption at this point. Oh man, we're coming up to the bottomless part of the tank. This bit really confused me the first time I put it together. I was like, what have I done wrong? Why is there a massive gap? Oh, it's intentional. Right, okay. I understand. Uh, 65 and 50 is our next port of call. I also remember building this and thinking, why won't it ever end? Oh god, please let it end. And it's just like, oh no, there's another page. And another page. Which is a stark contrast to the Lehman Russ, which you can do in about, well, less than an hour. 65, you go at the back, and 50, you go at the front. I mean, I've been building for what? Nearly an hour? And we've done the 2 tracks. And that's it. Do you slap drop your minis or do you just go straight for acrylics? No, I don't slap drop my minis. Some would say you're right on track. Those people would be correct. So that will work for -Celsius. I want to prime my minis, but it's been like -3 to 5 and I never primed a mini before, so I want to try it at the best conditions I can have. That has worked for me in -Celsius conditions. Warming the can in hot water. It has worked for me. I can't guarantee you that it will. And you won't be able to prime for very long, because like I said, it will cool down really quickly. So you might be able to get through like sort of 5-10 minis, but I wouldn't stand out there priming for, you know, a considerable amount of time. Because the paint will start to freeze and you'll basically just be sandblasting your miniatures. Why do I feel like that's not correct? Because it isn't. That's confusing. I am confused. Ah! I figured it out. I had it orientated wrong. It's no longer confusing. Good evening, Reverend. On you go. I want to when we move in the new studio, I want to have a spray booth so I can prime minis indoors all year round and never have to go outside. Honestly, trying to prime in Storm Eowyn was just awful. I was like, I need to do these because if I don't start, I'm going to be behind. And everybody on YouTube will laugh at me if I don't have the miniatures painted in time. Kids can be so cruel. They can? Thanks, Mom. Do, do, do. Yeah, that's the other piece of advice that Prez is giving. Don't, like, when you're priming your miniatures, don't hold the thing down until you think it's covered. So don't just go psh, psh, little short, very short little bursts. You want a little ksh, 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 like that. Because if you hold it down, what ends up happening is if you can test it yourself on not on paint, right? But if you've ever got a can of spray deodorant, right? Go and like spray it into your hand like this or something like that, or on a piece of paper or something, and what you'll see is it covers and then it starts to push all of the liquid out to the side because the pressure is moving the paint like this. So if you go like that with a spray can onto your miniature, it does the same thing with the paint. It starts to push it all out like that, and it will create build-ups in places where you don't want it. Well, you don't want build-ups, full stop. Don't just hold the button. You just want to that kind of thing. What you'll end up just creating is a little crater of paint. In you go. E. Making pretty good progress on this Rogal Dorn, you know. Well, I say that. I don't know. It's been a while since I built one. And we've nearly done part 1, I think. I think my phone just reminded me. Yes, it did. Reminders. Yes. Alright, let's head over to... Wait, where the hell was that? Okay, fine. Let's head over to... let's do that so I can still see chat and I'm not just sat here looking at tickets. There we go. Quickest way to get there is probably going through here. Boom. On sale in 9 minutes. Do I dare do another component? This is how much of the tank I've done. The whole! To be honest, like I said when I painted it at the time, I liked the hole because it gave me somewhere to hold it. I could hold it like this. You could probably do something slightly insane. I'm not sure. I don't think I tested this last time. I could just drop one of these in there now. You can definitely get one of those in. Stay on target. Josh, get that ticket. Yeah. Well, let's all talk for the next 8 minutes whilst I concentrate on this. And because it's the first stream of the month, do you know what we'll do? We will do that, and we'll do this, and we'll do that, and we will do that. We'll gift out 5 memberships to the community. There you go. What's the ticket for? It is for Contest of Heroes. Weekday Warhammer. It's on a Wednesday. Brushes. Keeping a tip on them and not letting them fray. Wash them more frequently than you think you should. You can also use brush care and brush soap to look after your brushes. If you use like brush soap at the end of a long painting session, you can use conditioner. There's loads of them available. Just kind of look up what's your favourite. But you can use that to keep the tip intact, basically. And like, just avoid, if you can, letting paint go into the ferrule, which is the metal bit around the at the base. It's the this bit, that bit there. That's the ferrule. Don't put your brush in so that paint goes past that, because if it builds up in there, and when it builds up in there, it starts to create separation between all your brushes. But those will all help you. And just like at the end of the day, if you, as you're painting, like just, I'd say like maybe every sort of 3rd or 4th trip to the paint pot, give your brush a wash. Artist Opus has some good brush cleaner and paint purger too. Yeah, Artist Opus does. Thingy. I use, when I remember, on my dry brushes, I use the stuff from Instar Paint. But I'm pretty certain every brush manufacturer also sells soap. And then there's like the paint artist's brush soap. It's the one that everyone uses. Or it's the first one everyone buys, I think. I can't remember what it's called. It has a name. If you just Google brush soap, it'll come up. The Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver. There you go. That stuff. I was able to source the Reliquary Red through UK eBay. Should arrive in 2 weeks. Oh, that's awesome, Alan. Any particular brand of brush? I've got a bunch of GW and some army painters. I use GW brushes. I use GW brushes for everything apart from highlights, which I use an Artist Opus brush for. Any tips for painting Imperial Knights? I've got a couple of videos on how to paint Chaos Knights. That might help you with some tips. But generally, you're probably going to want to use Lamia Medium to improve the flow of pretty much everything, given how big it is. If you check out some of my videos about vehicles and things, like Space Wolves, the Space Wolves Gladiator, and things like any of the Dreadnoughts and stuff, that'll give you enough. That'll give you some idea of how to paint larger surface areas. Essentially, if you just like kind of look up any of my videos about big stuff, you'll see like the kind of the ways that I'm painting it. That will help you with your painting your Imperial Knights. But always just like plan it out. Just take it a section at a time, an armor panel at a time. If you're going to use contrast paints, if you're not going to use contrast paints, do whatever you like. But yeah, like if you look at, for example, like this tank here, you see the, oh come on, focus. Right, yeah. So you see how all of these armor panels are sections, basically. If I was painting this with contrast paints, which I have done on the channel, you'd look at like this piece is a section, this panel's a section, this one's a section, this one's a section, that's a section, that's a section, that's a section, and that's a section. Don't paint it all as one thing. Paint each panel as an individual thing. Go like with contrast paint, just one by one, and you'll get there. Would you say airbrush is necessary? No, because I painted a Warhound type. I painted that with a brush. If I can paint that with a brush, you can paint a knight with a brush. And Chaos Knights. I did Chaos Knights with a brush as well. We'll hopefully do some Imperial Knights this year. We'll have to see what happens. Meanwhile, gap filler time for Volcano, Quake, Power Claw, Epoch Missiles, and Head. Have fun with that, Alan. I've drafted in help. Peter's going to help me with mine. 1 minute to go, Josh. Thank you, Email Angwell. Thank you very much. I'm locked in. Like and subscribe, please. Did you get the ticket? No, I'm getting it. It's not gone live yet. I'm refreshing. Wait, what? It just says details. But if I click on details... I'm very confused. Is that just going to work? I'm very confused. Okay, I've booked a ticket, I think. I think I've booked a ticket. Who knows if I have? Okay, I've got an order confirmation. I have a ticket. Okay, there we go. Contest of Heroes, 21st of May. I will be there. It's a Wednesday, so I might see some of you there. I might not, but who knows? Excellent. One day, 1k points sounds good. Yeah, exactly. Have you got a ticket, Flying Muttley? Will we get to bump into each other and bump fists? Or heads? Or have a fight? Hey, Mr. Josh, how are you today? I am doing very well, Mr. Tim Chaser. How are you doing? What are we working on today? Artistic Outlaw, Mr. James with eyes. I am building this. I have built this much of a Rogal Dorn. We are 131 and 129 away from having something that vaguely resembles a tank. So we shall get the next couple of bits on, shall we? But I've just bought a ticket. To Contest of Generals. Yay! A 1 day, 1,000 point Age of Sigmar event. I'm so happy. I'm going to a tournament, guys. Oh, I could almost weep. I get to play Warhammer, hooray! Should I make a video on it? I might even get home in time to stream. I doubt I will. But I might get home in time to stream then. So maybe we'll just be on daily content until the 21st of May. What army are you bringing? I don't know. I don't know what I'll take. Who knows? Everything could change in the next... Wait, when's May? Where are we? January, February. February, March, April, May. So in the next 3 months, who knows what could come out? I might take my Flesh Eater Courts, though. Or my Stormcaster Turtles. Flesh Eater Courts would be fun. I haven't actually read what the pack says. Download the event pack here. Can I take Usheran? They say you would only be permitted to include 2 regiments within your army, though you may field as many auxiliaries as you wish. When building an army, yeah, fine. I don't think is Be'lakor too much for 1k? Possibly, but I don't think so. How many Rogal Dorns in the collection when this one is done? I'm waiting on my first at the end of the Combat Patrol magazine subscription. Long time to wait. This will be my second. Or your Git mob if the box is actually 900 points. I could take the Git mob. I would need to paint. I would need to paint the rest of it. Is the only issue with that. And I don't know when I'll get the time. But we'll see what happens, because Gitmob obviously naturally has, they'll be out by then, I'm sure. But Gitmob also has the Doom Diver catapult and the Snarl Boss with Wolfgit Retinue, and the Snarl Boss on Chariot, and the Shaman on Chariot as well, yet to come out. I'm sure they will be out by then, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. I could even take Gordrak and friends. Maybe we'll make it a community decision when we get to it. I'll let you guys vote or something. Here are my options. Take the worst one. Damn it. Save to Darkness. Yeah. Save to Darkness is an option. I know that in the rules you can't take one unit that is more than half your army. So you wouldn't be able to, unless that rule is gone, but you wouldn't be able to take something like Archaon and some Dark Oath Marauders. That wouldn't be okay. But you could take Abraxia and some Varangard. Just be that guy. Yeah, no, the rules specifically don't let you do that, Thomas. So, like, you shouldn't see anything like Krondis, for example, at 1,000 points. Again, not 100% sure if that rule still exists in match play. I'm pretty sure it does. Found on the guidelines of 226, 227 on the core rulebook. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a second. Let me get this. Let me get the lid on my tank, and then we'll have a look. Playing Skaven was rough. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, look, I want to go and have fun and just play some games of Age of Sigmar and enjoy myself, because I haven't done it in ages. I don't know. I can't remember if I actually went to an event in 2024. I was so locked in with painting. Oh no, that's not true. I did go to an event. I went to the Age of Sigmar launch thing, but that wasn't a tournament or anything. That was seeing the new edition up close. I went to that, but I didn't go to any competitive tournaments. I don't think in 2024. Krondis plus 6 Stormdrake Guard. I've no idea how many points that is. That would be too many points. That would be over 1,100 points, because Stormdrake Guard are like 300 and something. 320, I think. So that would be 640 for them, and Krondis is 540. So that would be 1,180 points. So that would be a no on that front. But Karazai... Well, I'll have a look in just a sec. Doop doop doo doo. Brum. I can see you through the hole in the bottom of my tank. Okay. Let's have a look, shall we? I'm not sure if the app actually has the army composition rules in it, but we'll have a look. Continue. Search. Army composition. Oh, it does. Okay. No, that's spearhead armies. Army composition. No, that's just the thing. We want match play. How many points of Lumineth do you own? I mean, I could paint a lot of Lumineth. I don't want to, though. Not for that. That's an FAQ. Pick your armies. No. What are the rules of this? Beastmen are still legal, just saying. Yeah, they will be up until July. I could also take Sacrosanct Chamber. I could use Aventus. I could use him. Aventus Firestrike, he could go. His first and last outing. Advanced rules. No. Army composition, battle profiles. No. Army composition. The general. No. Why is there not... Interesting. Bring tech list. But I don't think you can. Matched play... AOS rules. Army composition. How to build an army for match play. Form regiments. Pick laws. What? It doesn't look like there is that limit anymore, so maybe you can just take Archaon and some Marauders. In the general handbook, the only restriction is no more than 50% of your points limit. Right, so it is in there. Right, okay. Cool. I don't actually own a copy of the General's Handbook, so I might have to buy one. Lame. Let's have a look. Let's go for Stormforge. Death. What can we do in Death? 1,000 points. We want Lords of the Manor, isn't it? Yes. Lords of the Manor. 1,000 points. 1,000 Flesh Eaters. What can we do for 1,000 points of Flesh Eater Courts? So we can't take Nagash, but we can take Usharan, Mortak of Delusion. 440. Add units. What can he take with him? Oh, God. It would be a bad army. No, this would be awful. Oh, it's so close. Usheran plus Morbeg Knights. Yeah, I mean, look, you can fit Usheran and 3 units of Morbeg Knights. But you could do more. You could do Usheran, 2 units of Morbeg Knights, and a Vargulf Courtier, just to be horrible. It wouldn't be great. Like, it was not a great army at all. Be funny though. Be fun to play with. Why would it be bad? Well, you won't control any objectives, and you just have to rely on Usheran to kill everything, basically. Make the Vargul for priest. You can indeed with the charnel vestments. Maybe you, because you need a courtier to do the old bringing stuff back rules. To return some Morbeg Knights to the fray. Of course, Usheran can do it, no problem. Can he? No, he's an aberrant, so... Yeah, he's an abhorrent, so he can only return a unit. So he could bring back a unit of Crypt Guard, for example, but he couldn't bring back a... Well, he could bring back a unit of Morbeg Knights, I suppose. Could you? If you just took it as 1 block of 6... Yeah, so you want a courtier and you want an abhorrent. 1 to bring a unit back, 1 to bring models back, to keep the army topped up. I can't remember which way round it is though. Flesh Eater Courts, where are you? Flesh Eater Courts, Flesh Eater Courts, Flesh Eater Courts. Faction pack, battle traits. Address loyal subjects. No, it is Muster Guard. Yeah, so a courtier can spend 2 noble deeds to bring back a knight or 1 serf. And summon loyal subjects is an abhorrent. Lets you spend all 6 of your noble deeds points to bring back a replacement unit with half the number of models from the target unit, rounding up. So you would use Usheran to bring back a unit of 3. But if you had a unit of 6, you'd use it to bring back a unit of 3. A unit of 2. Ionis Cryptborn is under 500. He is. The problem with Ionis Cryptborn is that is a lot of points that you pack in for something that you could only back him up with infantry. Because if you were to try and put in more Stormdrake Guard, you would be looking at basically that's your army. You'd have Ionis, 2 Stormdrake Guard, and like a unit of Vanquishers. Vizic, 60 Clan Rats, and a Plague Pack for 1 drop. That could work for me. That would be really good. That would be fun. So what could I do? I could do, of the armies that I own without having to do anything for them, we could do Flesh Eater Courts, Cities of Sigmar, Stormcast Eternals, Blades of Khorne, Header Knights of Slaanesh, Iron Jaws, Cruel Boys, Gloomspite Gits, theoretically, Maggotkin of Nurgle, Skaven, Slaves to Darkness, Sylvaneth, Reclusians, and Lord Terminos. Yeah, that is a viable option. Although you'd want to probably stack it with... I would be inclined to run it as the Ruination Brotherhood and take Iridan the Witness and Prosecutors. Having a Missile Varghulf with Savage Beyond Reason and Charnel Vestments could be a funny combo. It's pretty good, isn't it? I don't think I would struggle for Noble Deeds points, let's be clear. Because Usharan just gets 6, let's face it. As soon as he makes combat, there you go, have 6. Boom, easy. Oh, it would be a hideous army. It would be very fun, because it would be 3, 6, 7, 8 models. So, you know, it would be interesting. Bring 1 War Stomper and 1 Beast Smasher. Yeah, that's a viable way of doing it. Fleshy Courts. I would really like to take Usharan. Because I love him. And also... he is a daunting prospect. In 1,000 points. That would be fun. It would be interesting to say the least. What else could we do? It's a shame you can't take Kragnos, really, isn't it? Kragnos is like 600 points these days. It'd be nice to give him a run out at some point in the future. Yeah, he's 580 points. 580 points is too many points. Gordrak, though. 380. This is an absolute... Like, you could even make this even worse by just removing one of those units from Morbeg Knights. You would want to take it as a unit, as a non-reinforced size unit, but like... Just take it as a block of 6. Iridan plus random warrior and ruination units using their army of renown could be fun, even when losing spells but gaining neat prayers. Yeah, I mean that's probably how I would do it. Iridan, probably 2 units of prosecutors and then some liberators maybe. Or to make the army really super fast, have some of the Stormstrike Paladors, because they'll just be lightning quick. The whole army will just move super fast. Because what could you do? You could do Grand Alliance Order, Stormcast Eternals, Ruination Brotherhood, 1,000 points, Iridan, create army, add hero, Iridan the Witness, add unit, Stormstrike Paladors, they're 190 points. You can take 2 of them. And then maybe 2 units of prosecutors. Yeah. Be a lightning fast army, that. Knight Draconis, 1, and 1 Storm Drake Guard. 1 times 2 Storm Drake Guard, and 280 points to play with. What would you do for the other 280 points, though? What would you put there? Also, do you really want to be that guy turning up to Warhammer Wednesday with Stormdrake Guard? Hey. I come to kick ass and drink milk, and I'm all out of milk. I'm thinking of getting a ticket now just to prove you wrong about Ionis Cryptborn. Ionis Cryptborn is a daunting prospect. No, he is, but it's just, is he worth it? Bearing in mind, like Flying Muttley's saying there, Ionis Cryptborn plus 2 Stormdrake Guard will be 700 and something points. Or you could take 3 Stormdrake Guard and a Knight Draconis. You've got an extra model there in a separate unit. That's the thing you have to weigh up. Flesh Eater Courts. I think I might take Flesh Eater Courts. I'm veered towards them. I might come up with something a little bit more palatable than Usheran and 6 more Veg Knights and a Vargulf Courtier. Because you could do, if we just unit size, do that. That gives you 240 points, and then you could take. Yeah, there you go. That makes more sense. A unit of Crypt Guard. And you could take some Crypt Horrors as well. For 1,000 points on the nose. So you could do Usheran, Crypt Guard, 3 Crypt Horrors, 3 Morbeg Knights, and a Vargulf Courtier. Which is probably better than just 6 Morbeg Knights. And that's 1,000 points on the nose. Well, because presumably as well, in a Stormcast Eternals army, you would take this bad boy and you could teleport everything all over the bookshop. That's why Ruination Brother with a bunch of Reclusians sounds like a good idea. Surely, though, if you wanted to be really, really mean, you want to figure out a way of putting in Vanguard Raptors and Vanguard Paladors. That's the source, isn't it? That's the shining source of Stormcast Eternals. Oh, it's the extra armor part. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. And then you've got all of these things as well. Up to the turret. And then you have all the optional crew, which we won't glue on because I don't need to. Extra stuff. Gubbins. Yeah, because you haven't even got to the sponsors yet at this point. Oh, because sponsons are optional, aren't they? Well, not anymore. I don't remember how I painted mine. I'm pretty sure it never did the extra armor and all that kind of thing. Oh well. 40 Clan Rats as a backup? Absolutely not. I mean, I have it, but no. I'm not really interested in taking Skaven. Not really. Not for me. And that's a no from me. There you go. Well, I'm glad I got the ticket. I'm excited now. I'm very excited. It'll be a fun day out. For all involved, I'm sure. I'll come up with something that isn't horrid. I'm assuming it's not going to be a full smash and grab, punch you in the face ultimate competitive tournament, because it's 1,000 points per side. And I need to figure out what my best painted army is. What do you think is my best painted army? Out of all the armies that you've seen me paint on the channel, which do you think is my best? Because that's the one that will help me get a best painted award, and that's what I really want. Custodes. Hello, I'm here to play with my Custodes. I misunderstood the assignment completely. The one with the most elves in it. So Sylvaneth. Flesh Eater Courts, best painted, Cities of Sigmar. So I'm just gonna whack Talia Vedra out and some Cavaliers. Just go for that. No. 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 Why am I doing this to myself? Hang on. Hang on. Cities of Sigmar, 1,000 points. What was it? Dawnbringer Crusade. Cities, 1,000. Great Army. Add hero. Talia Vedra, where are you? Lioness of the Parch at 310 points. She's a steal. Free Guild Cavalier Marshal. Of course he goes in. 460 points left. So then we want some Free Guild Cavaliers. Free Guild Cavaliers. How many can we get in? 5, 10. 15 Free Guild Cavaliers. Oh. Oh, what a sight to behold. Hallowed Knights. My Hallowed Knights, I think, are among my best painted. But also, I don't have time to paint 10 more Cavaliers. So what do I have? I mean, I can do... I'm going to... Are we allowed? Are we allowed? Are we allowed? I have a terrible idea. Right, Stormcast Eternals, 1,000 points. Yeah, that'll be fine. No, it won't be fine. That one will be fine. 1,000 Stormcast. This is awful, but hang on. Hang on. Add hero. We want... Where is she? Neve Black Talon. Add Neve's Companions and Lorai, Child of the Abyss. Oh, it could be done. Black Talons plus Callus and Toll. Exactly, Flag Muttley. Oh, and then you could be a real arsehole. At Throw in some Vanguard Raptors with long strike crossbows. Hi, I've come to not have any friends. That would be fun, though. It would be really fun, just to take those two. You could just add an auxiliary unit as well, just for fun. What's 390 points? This would be an awful army list. Just throw in Yndrasta. Oh, that would be so poor. Add hero. I'm pretty certain she can't. Neve can't go into anyone else's detachment, can she? Add unit. No, she can't. And yet Gardas can. Crossover Black Library Dream Team. I'd have to get hold of... Anyone you beat has to subscribe. Yeah. And anyone who beats me also has to subscribe. Otherwise I'll complain at them. Joe, if you're watching, why would... Joe has just sent me a text saying, Talia Vedra, 20 Free Guild Fusiliers, 20 Steel Helms, 20 Steel Helms, 10 Steel Helms. There's so many bodies, Joe. So many bodies to paint. Sit on objectives and sponge. Nah. I'm veering towards the Black Talons and Callus and Toll as my army list. Or do it the other way around. Do it the other way around. Do it the other way around. Because then, if you do Cities of Sigmar, where's it gone? 1,000 cities. Cities 1,000, there it is. So if we get rid of that, delete, yep, Regiments of Renown, and we put in the Black Talons for 320, and then we go Regiments, add, save, it would be Callus and Toll, wouldn't it? Callus and Toll, add unit, Cities of Sigmar, Toll's Companions, there it is, and then add. Yeah, that would be a way of doing it. I do think though that would give you, because it says in the thing you can only take 2 regiments, and so one of them would be a regiment of renown. So you'd have to no matching figures at all. Can you get the? Oh, you can put the free guild. This is so awful. Free Guild Steel Helms, Free Guild Fusiliers. So you can do Callus and Toll, Free Guild Command Corps, Free Guild Fusiliers, Steel Helms, Toll's Companions, and then the Black Talons. Oh dear. Oh, what fun that would be. I'm kind of tempted. How much was Bundo Whalebiter? He's 420 points. Okay, so not quite. No, you can't do it. So your 1,000 points could be Bundo Whalebiter, the Black Talons, and Callus and Toll. But you're only allowed one Regiment of Renown, which is a shame. Oh dear. What a shame. Oh well. That would be funny. That would be very funny. But there we go. There you have it. Anyway, guys, it is now 7:45, which means it's time for us to conclude matters. It's a Krakenita Mega Gargant, Cameron. Ally in Nagash, and that takes care of the other 1,000 points too. Well, it's a 1,000 point tournament, so I would be significantly overpointed at that point. But there we go. It's time for us to conclude things. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. What is up in store for you this week? Well, I still have 4 Craft Worlds videos to put out at some point, so we might put out 1 or 2 of them this week. And we've also got Gitmob. That's also yet to come out. So we've got Snarlpack Cavalry, Snarlfang Riders, Sunstealer Wheelers, Samehan, Baeltan, Elatok, and Eandon. Those are the 7 videos that I currently have in stock to put out. So we'll see how that goes. Samehan. You want to see Samehan tomorrow? Do you remember what colour you primed your Flesh Eater Courts? Cart, I think it was White Scar. It should say in the videos. There's videos for everything. When's Tails? It should be this Sunday. Remember to give the resin a bath. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you. I'll make sure I put it on there. But there we go. Take a Claw Lord and 120 clan rats. Ugh. That would involve painting 80 clan rats, and it's never going to happen. Not whilst I still have my strength. Anyway, yes, we're going to head off now. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. There will be a painting video tomorrow. There will be a stream on Wednesday. There will be a painting video on Thursday and a painting video on Friday. And then there'll be something else on Saturday that I can't tell you about. And then there'll be Tales on Sunday. And then a stream on Monday. And then a painting video on Tuesday. And then a stream on Wednesday. And then a painting video on Thursday and Friday. And then something I can't tell you about the following Saturday. And so on and so forth. Until the middle of March. So I will see you all very soon in the next one. Thank you for hanging out with me. Bye for now. Best audience ever. Love you. Bye.